It's Friday, June 10th, about just after 2 in the afternoon, and we are in Colorado. Blessed to be in Colorado, off of Route 139, just north of a little town called Loma, and heading up towards a town called Rangeley at the moment, heading over towards Dinosaur National Monument, which God willing plan to camp up in that area somewhere this evening. But yeah, it's great to be in Colorado again. I wasn't sure what I would do as far as my route for heading up towards Idaho, but Colorado, when I did directions, when I googled directions this morning, that's the way it took me, and then I mapped it out and looked at it, and looked like a great way to go. And so a good part of today be in Colorado, which I'm super stoked about. It's a beautiful state, and just good to be here. Blessed to be here. But yeah, we left, I think about I don't remember. Again, camped over on that what I thought was BLM land. I think it used to be, was the deal, outside of Moab, but now it's actually, they call it Utah Raptor State Park, and again, charge like $15 a night to camp. So I paid up the $30 this morning before we left, the past 2 nights. So yeah, it was cool though. It worked out really well. So again, I was going to say we left I think about 8 o'clock this morning, I guess is what it was, and wanted to stay off the interstate initially. Took some 2-lane road after we took 191 and went up under or crossed. I think we went under. Went under 70, Interstate 70. I took this 2-lane road for some time. I think it was called Frontage Road, and this road was like something, a relic from back in the day. It was paved. Well, I guess some of it was gravel, but it was like paved, but it was so old and just so deteriorating so much that kind of the pavement was kind of turning into gravel at spots. Part of me, I thought, maybe the gravel from the surrounding area was just kind of engulfing and overtaking the road. But actually, I think it was just deteriorating so much that the pavement was turning into gravel. So I rode that a good ways, and saw some cool stuff. Had a pronghorn antelope cross the road in front of me. Not close enough to scare me, but close enough to be cool, to where I turned the GoPro on real quick and hopefully got some footage. But them dudes are lightning fast, and getting the fastest animal in North America. And yeah, it was cool. Once it crossed the road and got back over into the dirt, it was kicking up dust. I mean, it looked like, I don't know, like a dirt bike going through there or something like that. So that was super cool, and hopefully maybe you got some GoPro footage of it. But yeah, I was on that for a while. Then I got on a little better road. Went through a little town called I think it was Cisco, Utah. And I say a town, there wasn't much of a town there. I think it's what was left of a town. The biggest thing that was there was Buzzard's Belly General Store, which was a really neat place. I ended up spending probably a couple hours there, charging my devices and just talking to people, talking to the owner. I think her name was Jean, just a really nice woman. I enjoyed her. And Jean, and then another woman and her husband traveling through. That hooked me up with some water. I needed water, and in Cisco there is no running water. So everything, they have either like a cistern, I guess, or it's got or bottled water. And but anyhow, these folks traveling through in their big old camper, they had I guess water to spare, so they filled up my Nalgene bottle. So that was cool. Her name was Catherine, and unfortunately I did not get his name. Did speak to him for a few minutes, and seemed like a super nice guy. But American folks that are living down in Chile, and for the time being, she said they're talking about selling and actually moving to Mexico. So yeah, them, and let's see, met a guy and his a guy that's traveling down to Moab with his brother and each of them's boys. And nice guy, lives in, I think he might have said they live in the Denver area. So talked to him for a few minutes. Let's see, what else? So yeah, as far as my route too, I again was going to try to stay off the interstate. I left Cisco. I'm gonna have to double check that again. Always my apologies for that. Yeah, so I left there though, and I got to a spot where it was interstate or a gravel road, just full-on gravel road. It was heading towards a place called Books Cliffs. And I get the impression this gravel road, according to the map, still followed the interstate or didn't veer too far up the interstate, but it looked like it would be this full-on gravel all the way. And I started going that way for just a moment, really. And 30 miles an hour seemed like was about all I was going to be comfortable with. And after spending all that decent amount of time on that paved / gravel road, frontage road, I definitely didn't want to, just venture too far out on, especially a hot day like today. Wanting to do about 200 miles, just over 200 today. And, so slow going at 30 miles an hour, I just didn't really want to do it. And so that said, ended up getting on the interstate and rode like 31 and a half miles. Rode into Colorado on the interstate, stopped at the sign. And again, just met some nice people. What was cool, I met this guy, and I guess it was his wife, a guy named Alex, and her name was Beatrice. And they're from Ontario, and they're traveling from California back to Ontario on this big BMW motorcycle. And you ought to see the stickers that this guy had. Looks like he's been, all over the world. And he had even mentioned riding a Himalayan himself in India, to where he said everything was reversed. He said instead of, being 1 down and 4 up, it was 1 up and 4 down. And plus the shifter was, instead of being on the left side, it was on the right side. And again, you're driving on the other side of the road over there and all that too. So everything about it sounded pretty awkward. But anyhow, so he had mentioned, again, riding in India, riding Himalayan in India. He had said, I think after they get back from this trip, it sounded like in the next month, he's going to Africa. And I think he might have said, Africa to ride. I'm not sure. Definitely said, going to Africa, but I don't remember if he said to ride. I would assume that's the case, though. Because like I said, from his stickers, looks like he's been everywhere. So that was cool. What else? This is turning into be a really big video, of course. I don't know how much I'll do later. But that's all right. Yesterday, again, just riding around the Moab area was super fun, which I've said. I don't think I mentioned there at Mad Bro Power Sports when I got my oil change. I met a woman from Poland that's riding all over, actually heading to Alaska as well. And she was there having some bike trouble, trying to get it taken care of. But her name was, it was Anna or Anna. I think it was Anna. But it was great to meet you. And hope the bike situation, again, wasn't too costly or too invasive, nothing too bad. And hope you're back on the road. And again, maybe God willing, I'll see you on the road somewhere, since we're both heading up to the great north. But anyhow, her plan is to ride her bike on every continent. And I think she said she had already ridden Central America, and now she's obviously up here in North America. And her being from Poland, I don't know if she's already done Europe or not. I don't remember. But anyhow, super cool to meet her. Neat woman. Really, she's a riding beast to be all, out doing all that stuff. I think it's pretty impressive, pretty amazing. And then talked about my seeing a movie last night in Moab. Left out one major detail is what movie I saw. And I don't know, maybe you can guess this summer's big blockbuster hit. And it certainly did not disappoint. Was Top Gun. Went to a 7 o'clock showing, and it was absolutely packed. And just what an amazing movie. I would, I guess, maybe use the word giddy. Just, with the old Kenny Loggins Danger Zone, as it's coming on, and just, the look and the feel of it. It just took me back. That's a big movie from my childhood, and for a lot of people it is. And just what an exciting movie. I definitely look forward to watching it again at some point. So that was cool, and got out of there I think about 9:15, and again hit the streets of Moab, and Moab was humming. I mean, everybody was out, people on bikes, people in their side-by-sides, just going down the street, and all that, and going out to eat, I guess, in the bars and all that stuff. And it was cool. I did a little bit of GoPro in there, and again, which I told about last night. I rode up to Arches and rode around after dark, which was super cool. Which I'd already said, I know. Let's see. Oh, down here when I got off the interstate and got on 139, as I believe I said I'm on now, when the first little town I came into was Loma, and while I was there, as you often do, people asked about the bike, and you talk to people and stuff, and met a nice guy and his wife named Jim Payne, and he's a rider. He's got a KLR 650, and sounds like he does a little bit of touring, and he's got a YouTube channel as well, Tim Payne ADV. So if you get a chance, if you're interested, check him out, and like him and subscribe if you want. That would be cool. But it was great to meet you there, Jim, you and your wife today. And he lives here in the Colorado area, it sounded like. But they had been down to Grand Canyon and sounded like they were having a good adventure themselves. Let me see. I think that's about it. Yeah, for now it is. Okay, cool. And I'd mentioned, I'm sure when I first started showing this, let me turn it. So, slowly, that's the road coming up the mountain. And again, this is 139 that comes up this mountain valley. It was a fun ride. And I'm not to the top yet either. I have no idea what lies on the other side. But I'll just go and say it now. I love Colorado. Always have. That was actually like 20 some years ago. It was my first experience out west. Lori and I came out to Rocky Mountain National Park for a vacation, and had a really good time. And so yeah, it's a state that I really enjoy. And two, let me mention something that's really cool about it as well. Being in Colorado and just being over there in Utah, and the experience over there. Again, Capitol Reef and everything, Bryce, and then Moab, Arches, that area. I probably wouldn't have done any of that if I went to the California coast. Originally, that was my plan. I thought I would go over to California and ride Route 1 or Pacific Coast Highway. There's a section like 123 miles that goes from like Monterey. I don't remember if it's north or south from Monterey. I think it's south of Carmel or something like that. But actually, that's a section of road I've been on before. Dad and Uncle James and Uncle Cecil and Cousin Randy and I were all out there, like, let me see, what is that, about 9 years ago on a Cyrus Men's road trip. And so I've been there, Monterey. We did a whale watching tour, which was great. We drove a bit of the Pacific Coast Highway, then went to Yosemite. So this trip, I wasn't even planning on doing Yosemite. Did not want to deal with the crowds over there. I thought I would hit the redwoods, and again ride that section of the highway. And then on the way over, I thought I would hit Monument Valley, I really wanted to ride Zeke through Monument Valley. But another place I've been blessed to visit before. And you know what? I'm so sorry. I caught myself this time. Not Monument Valley, but Death Valley. Death Valley, super neat place if you haven't been there. And I thought I would, really wanted to ride through there. But between you know, having to, you know, to get all the way over there from the Grand Canyon area, from the North Rim, and just to go that far out of my way, seeing as how I only wanted to hit that small section of highway. And again, the redwoods, or I don't know if that's redwoods, or I know Sequoia, I believe, is a national park. Maybe that's actually what I'm thinking of, but I know the redwoods are there, but the park itself maybe is Sequoia. I know the Sequoia is over there. But anyhow, yeah, as far as going all the way over to that area for that little bit, especially not planning on hitting Yosemite. And I figured the crowds, you know, as far as traffic and all that. And after Florida, that really, you know, as much as I enjoyed Florida, but just the traffic and the congestion and all that just really made me think, I don't think I want to go to California and deal with all that. And two, with Death Valley, the heat. I've after again Florida and just the other, you know, places I've been with the heat, I think, yeah, I don't want to expose myself to more hotter climate, you know. But so yeah, all that said, by, you know, deciding not to do that, I've done all this other stuff that I've mentioned, you know, there in Utah and up to this point, and which is enabling me to heading north, you know, northwest here in a bit. And I guess maybe now you would say I might go down into or up into a small section of Wyoming, and then into Idaho is the plan. And Idaho is a state, you know, I've driven through, but I can't say that I've really seen it. So I'm looking forward to, you know, getting over there and just really kind of exploring a little bit of Idaho. So yeah, and then head over in Oregon, Crater Lake, and, you know, maybe the coast over there, and then up to Washington, something like that. You know, God willing, it's all, you know, tentative, or so to speak. I'm just winging it. I mean, that is the plan. I mean, from where I'm at, you know, that's the most, that's the best plan. And yeah, it's let's see. But I'll tell you, I'm going to enjoy being over here for now, and all that stuff. That's still days, if not weeks out. I'm still not sure when I plan to be up at the Canadian border. I just can't say. You know, just taking it day by day. And I am certainly blessed to be here today in beautiful, beautiful Colorado. You got to see this dead tree here that's on my right. You've probably saw the bird fly in and out of it just now, but I doubt you can see the details. That bird was beautiful. It was yellow and had like red or orange up around its head. I don't know that I've ever seen a bird like that before, but it was very neat. And then yeah, I guess for now that's all I've got. Maybe I'll think of some other stuff that I missed, or again, just the rest of the day's ride, you know, to comment on later. But yeah, for now, we'll get back on old Zeke and ride. There's my boy.